and we would like to, Wednesday, 9 o'clock. We want to welcome you all, Investing Education Academy. I am Brent Simpson with Denzel Leon Noble.
Just Leon Noble. Denzel.
So for today, I figured we go with the whole name. So you guys may receive flyers. You may have seen something where we're talking about the big announcement, right? Well, the big announcement is the fact that we are officially live. And when we say we're live, we're talking about the membership. Investing Education Academy membership platform is live, and it is an expansive platform. I know Leon knows a lot of you all are going to absolutely enjoy it when you see everything that we've been working on. In the Facebook group, we've grown to about 200 and how many, Leon?
It's right about a little over 260.
Okay, so we're at 260. I think we're approaching 270. That's 270 people have joined the Facebook Investing Education Academy group in the last roughly, let's say, 10 weeks. Number one, the support has been great. But today, for everybody who's tuning in, for everybody who's just stopping by for a moment, don't stop by for a moment. You want to watch the entire piece today because we're going to be giving some tidbits. Of course, we're giving our stock picks at the end. It seems like many people have loved those stock picks. Today,
Beverly.
So what?
Beverly.
Yes. Beverly, used to shout out to you because we know you are making money off of us, and that is okay. You've actually made quite a bit, and that's pretty cool. For everyone else the reason why I say you're going to want to watch the entire piece today, many of you all don't know the layers to Investing Education Academy. Today, we're actually going to show you all those layers. So we've received the text, and Leon, if you can kind of share with them some of the types of text and pictures that we've gotten, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting things, people watching us on their TVs, people listening to us in their cars. We found out today that someone is actually listening to us in the shower. So we're, but I mean, we love it. We love that, people are taking this information, really enjoying it, hopefully passing it along to their family and friends. But that support really shows us that, this is making a difference. And since we lost a podcast recently, that's been getting us a lot of exposure to people that are on the go that can then listen to this information there as well. So we're getting quite a lot of exposure, which is great because we want to get this information out.
Yeah, and with that being said, not only have people watched us in a variety of different ways or listened to us in a variety of different ways, they've been doing it through the lives, which means sometimes it's just not convenient. So that shows a level of dedication. And I'll say for us, you all have found value in this content to do that. Mm-hmm. So talked about the wealth gap, right? And in dealing with the wealth gap right now, we're looking at how African-American households, their Black wealth is just now catching up to white wealth as it was in 1962. Leon and I both, when we did the research, we realized that was crazy. But it also lit a fire under us to say, we have to get this information out to the masses. And as you all know, we say it all the time, Investing Education Academy has every walk of life, different races, people of different ethnicities. It's open community. We need to all work together to kind of solve some of these problems that exist. But at the same time, Leon and I are two Black males who recognize that this wealth gap is adversely affecting African-American people. And so in that space, and those that are just disenfranchised about what the market can do, because they're not all African-Americans, but it's a number of people who just don't understand it, never have been taught like how the market can be played to their benefit or how to actually get in and get started. We're about to unleash all of us into the IEA membership, all of us. And so we're going to jump in, and what we're going to do is show you all some of what we've been working on. Now, when we start, I would say right now is the time you want to share this with a friend. If you all, and we know some of you have been thinking this, like, how do I get more involved with IEA? How do I learn more? How can we accelerate this process of growth, understanding not only the stock market, but other investments? It's going to be through our membership platform. We've talked about it several times. You heard us say it's coming. The time is coming. It's now. It's today. July 1st is the launch of Investment Education Academy. And with that, we want as many people as possible to come over to the framework. And the reason why I mentioned the wealth gap is when Leon and I looked at what the wealth gap was, we made it our decision right then and there that we were going to lower all the tiers that we were planning on doing. As a paid membership, and in that space, we're going to be talking about the market. Well, I'm gonna go through all that, but I'm gonna pull it up right now to kind of show you what we've been working on. And Leon, if there's anything you wanted to say or I missed during the time we're going through it, just jump in and let me know I missed it.
Okay.
So this, we're going to start here. This is our podcast. It is live now. We are on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Breaker. What else? I think that's the bulk of them. We're on Spotify, and we've recently been approved for 2 other platforms that, I mean, the approval literally just came in today. So we're on about at least 4 or 5 platforms. So you can listen to us on the go now. Once you come in, you can find all of our episodes listed pretty easily for you to listen to. You can actually click here and play it directly from the site. Or you can download it. You can share it with us. We definitely want you all to share it because our goal, again, is to get this to as many people as possible. In the next 2 years, we want to educate 10,000 people on what the stock market is and what it can do. Now, it won't be direct, of course. It may be through the podcast, it may be through our Facebook Lives and other means. We're going to start doing some webinars and things where people can directly ask us questions inside of the membership platform. So you can go into any of the episodes, and once you get in, and we definitely want you all to subscribe while you're in there. Again, you can download it, share it, subscribe. So when you subscribe, you actually get notifications when new episodes will be posted to the platform. Right now, the majority of the platform is our Facebook Lives, and some of you all missed them, and you don't have the means to go back and watch it. Now you'll be able to go to the podcast and actually just listen to it on the go. Let me see.
And one thing that's cool about this is that not everyone subscribes to podcasts. Not everyone has like a podcast player or a podcast app. So if you're not a big podcaster, but you still want to listen on the go, one, we would say, check out, either like Apple, Spotify, one of those. But if not, the podcasts, like Brent said, are here on IEApodcast.com. You can just go there directly and listen to them.
Yeah, and many of them, they're free. I mean, I don't think there are really any. There may be like 2 podcast players that I could think of that are at cost, but you can absolutely get this information on the go for free. And if you want, you can always listen to the live. So for those of you all who think, oh, well, I watch you guys live all the time, I don't really need to hear the podcast. We have a number of Easter eggs coming up where we're having some special interviews, things that you are not going to see us do on a Facebook Live will be in our podcast. So it behooves anyone listening to actually check back from time to time at the podcast to see what's new or where the Easter egg lays. And so Easter egg lies, let me say that correctly. So now with that, we have our membership. You can reach most of our platforms directly from our podcast page. We tried to make it as easy as possible for you to get into the ecosystem and enjoy yourself. So for those of you all who've seen the site, this is it. And everyone knows this is the IEA lady. And so Leon and I we have now been kind of engaged by individuals who are making maybe $3+ million a year to individuals who are working a 9-to-5, getting paid hourly. And everybody's questions are reasonably the same, you believe it or not, is, I've always wanted to be in the market, didn't know where to start. Then we have another group of people whose questions are, I'm in the market, I need to know how to play it better. I need to know how to, go from one level to the next and actually make more money or just learn more, because it's not always about making more money. Sometimes you just want to learn more about what the platform is or what it can do, and I mean the market. So we have the IEA online courses coming. The membership is now, the podcast is now, and for those of you all who have access to speak at places or write for different websites or magazines, we're actually engaged in that now as well. So the growth has been pretty amazing for such a short period of time. So here, first page, this is a quick tutorial. You're going to notice these are some key terms. some people didn't know what a stock was, and it's no, I don't even like the word dumb. You can ask any question you want in IEA, right? There will be people in different walks of the market. There may be people who understand it more than others. There may be newbies. There may be experienced investors. We put the terms that we thought you should know right here, so you can go back and forth and just learn a little bit during the exploration of the site.
Yeah, those are like your very basic top level terms that, like I said, like Brent said, a lot of people have asked us about. Again, there's no stupid questions. There's and any question is fair, is open. Like Brent said, we have newbies, we have advanced, but these are some really high level basic terms that everybody should know before they even start investing.
Yes. And so Investing Education Academy is the URL. We will put it in. Malcolm, thanks for asking. And for those of you all who are with us, like we said, there are going to be some things we tell you that we're not telling everybody else who's not here today. If you go to the site, and I know some of you are like, cool, let's get started. Don't click the links, because we actually have a special deal for everybody watching today that is going to be a deep discount to the actual cost of membership. So stick around. I would just suggest sharing it, because one of the things is annual membership, and some people might pay monthly. Whatever price you come into the IEA platform at is the price you stay at for as long as you want to be a member. So that means today, with the discount we're going to be offering, you're going to have that price for as long as you are with IEA. And for the Portfolio Panthers, and you're going to see that later on, we're talking about, even if there weren't a discount, the annual membership for Portfolio Panther, we're going to talk about what that is $5,000. When we get to 15 people, we are shutting that down, and the price for the next 15 people will be $10,000 per person. Let me say that again. Is right now, without the discount we're going to be offering today, it's $5,018 to be exact. And if you were to get in today, you're at $5,000 annual membership fee forever. And so when we lock it down at 15 people and we open back up after the 15, it's going to be $10,000 per person. And I spoke to, actually, I spoke to an eye surgeon today, believe it or not, and they wanted to become they're our 5th Portfolio Panther, and we haven't even really went live yet, which is awesome. But what they were saying is they wanted to do it because they realized that if they waited to next year, it would be the equivalent to paying 2 years worth of membership fees just because they waited. So they might as well start now and then grow with the platform, because their thought was they're not very experienced with the market should they be a Portfolio Panther. So let's talk about what else we are going to offer.
And real quick, I just want to say, so the plan Brent was talking about, the Portfolio Panthers, that's the highest level one. That's the one where we're going to be dealing with, as Brent said, people that are kind of more that want to do like private equity deals, that have, basically high net worth people. But that's the high end one. We do have 2 that are a lot less price. But just want to let everybody know that that's not the only option. You're going to see them in a minute, though.
Yes, and the thing to remember is that with all the plans, where you come in today is the place to which you're going to stay at for as long as you want to be inside of the IEA platform. And Leon and I are just getting started. You all should all know this. The information we've been giving you about the market, how to understand stocks, and Leon, hats off to you. People love that dividend conversation about dividend paying stocks.
Cool.
You often hear us say, well, we're going to go deeper on that topic inside the membership platform once we get it up. That's now. So, I mean, with that being said, we are in a unique situation where as we grow, those that get involved with us sooner than later get to grow with us. And we're telling everybody now, our pricing structure is low because we're still figuring it out. We want everybody who knows Leon or I, we're pretty down to earth people, full disclosure. It's important for everybody to just know the truth. We're still figuring it out. We're still growing. But the thing we already know is the market. So we understand the market, but putting together a membership community is not our jam, as people say. So we've done a good product, we produced a good product, but it's going to get better. Also, classes. We've been asked, are you all going to have classes that relate to understanding the stock market? So we have a basics course. How much do you need to start? We'll have a course on how much you need to actually start. And I realize there's a typo there. And then, stocks, mutual funds, or ETFs. these courses, as you see, are, anywhere from $5 to 11, 12. And many of our courses are going to be on the side that there is always going to be a segment that's extremely affordable, as it will in our membership too. That is on purpose. And that's what happened that's what we came up with after understanding the wealth gap. It was like, okay, we have to have a business, but we need to make it accessible to anybody. And so if you're trying to figure out how to, the stock market, or, how much you need to start, you're talking about a total cost of $16. That should be reasonable for most. And if it's not, you always have the lives. And we're not going to abandon the Facebook group. It's just that we're also going to be growing in other areas. But we will absolutely still be active in the Facebook group. We will be, talking to you all as the questions come in inside the platform. So now we're talking about the IA platform. How much does it cost, right? It's what everybody wants to know. How much does it cost? And also now, not just how much does it cost, what do I get for that price? So with these platforms, we have an annual membership, or you can pay monthly. It's your choice which one you want to do. Right now, the prices were for the Portfolio Panthers, we were talking a much higher price initially. We went down to $5,018. And then for the insiders, it was going to be a little over $700. We decided to keep it at $500. And then the community membership, that was going to be around $250 a year. But with everything happening with the understanding of everything happened with Leon and I, let's call it what it is, and our newfound understanding of how much we need to catch up, we decided to create a platform or a membership level that should be affordable to almost anybody. And it's not the type of platform level where you kind of get in and you're left alone by any means. It's $36 for the year. And when you do that, it's going to be complete access to our membership platform. You all will get to see part of that today. You're going to have access to all community membership and information resources. And so what is that? What is information and resources? That's going to consist of articles, curated links. And when we say curated links, there are lots of bogus links in the internet about, the gurus that Leon loves to talk about, and articles that are written by people that definitely are biased. As much as we can, Leon and I will be going through these, mainly Leon, we'll be going through and actually looking through the articles to say what's trash, what actually can be beneficial to people, and what is a good article, but they need a little bit of understanding around the article. And we're going to be putting it inside the membership platform. So this is us actually doing the research for you. That alone for $36 for the year, that's kind of awesome. So then we have our members only stock picks, and those will be the stock picks that Leon and I choose will just be listed inside of the membership platform, because every now and then people ask us, can we go back through all of our stock picks from April
1st.
April 1st. And no, we can't. That's a lot, but we are going to list them inside of the membership platform for anybody who wants to go back through that list. It will be there for you. Again, at $36, it's kind of awesome. Inside of our members platform, we have what's called our tribes. And you can choose a tribe that resonates with you. It may be options trading. It may be newbies want to figure out the market. It may be day traders, or what now are known as swing traders. So we will have groups for all of you all. And what happens is you go in, you're now a part of the IEA membership, but now you can actually go a little deeper. You can go more granular, and you can find your tribe. And your tribe may be one of those groups that actually just talks about this. You can be members of multiple tribes, but some tribes will be closed to insiders. Some tribes may be closed to Portfolio Panthers. And there will be a lot of just floating information that's for everybody. And we have the monthly Q&A. Now this part is the big one. We're going to actually have an expert every month, whether it be directly inside of our membership platform or to all of our members. We will send a link to our webinar where it's going to be a Q&A with an expert. It may be an expert in understanding how IPOs work, understanding what causes a company to be deregulated. It might be Leon and I talking about, options, or, getting started in the market, understanding the full functionality of brokerage accounts. It's going to be a lot of information for people who've asked and told us what they wanted. Curated stock information, that's going to be our research. that means that Leon and I actually dug in, looked at this stock, and curated the information for you all and put it into the platform. The ability to take IA on the go via mobile app, yes, that is correct. There will be a mobile app for the IA membership platform. Not only does the mobile app allow you to take IA on the go, but as members join the platform, you can actually talk to different members. You can get to know them, see what their investing strategies have been, what their philosophy on the market is, and maybe you all can join groups together. You can start talking about, these stocks that you've been following. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff happening when members realize they can engage. It's kind of like we're taking Facebook into our own community, where it's offline, off the main line, and it's just IA members. So the calendar of events, we have a calendar.
What you say? Real quick, also with that is inside the membership, even under community. So inside we have like topics. So we have like I said, we have tribes and we have topics. Underneath the topics, one thing's gonna be curated there too, is all of our lives and or well, I say all of our lives, not necessarily our podcast, but all of our lives. So you'll have one-stop shop there if you want to, go back and look at a certain live, go back at a certain thing we did on YouTube. It'll all live in the platform too. So it'll be one central location for essentially all of our like our free content that's provided without having to go to YouTube or go to IG. It'll all live on this platform itself.
And that takes us to IA's event calendar. And also, Leon and I, we always talk about the fact that the market can help you make money. Before I talk about the events calendar, we will be launching a ambassador program. The ambassador program is essentially an affiliate program where you all will receive, we haven't figured out what will be given for the recommendations or referrals, but there will be something. We're trying to figure out what it's going to be, but this can serve as a new revenue source or a place to get added bonus to receive additional information or support in the market. So we haven't worked out the details of what that's going to be, but it's coming. So now you have the insiders, right? And so people are like, well, what's the difference between an insider and a community member? The insiders have everything I just named. And in addition to that, their articles and curated links are going to go a step further. We're also going to have calculators for them and worksheets. And Leon, if you want to talk about the calculators and worksheets.
Yeah. So one of the things I've because everyone that watches knows I'm all about data, right? And one thing I found to be easy for myself is to actually track my investments granularly. So a lot of times platforms like your brokerage won't necessarily follow your positions individually. A lot of times some of them will, but a lot of times you can't get the holistic view of how your whole position is doing. So what I like to do is I like to go in there and so I basically have a calculator that's going to track. I can track all your positions, and then another thing you can do, it'll show you week to week, what you made or lost via the week, via the month, via the year. So one thing that does do this that I noticed is Robinhood. But one thing about theirs, I noticed that it's not the most accurate because once you take into account after hours trading, I believe it either stops at when it does the calculation, I believe it stops at the 4 o'clock time, doesn't factor in after hours. So I just noticed that's off. So what I've done is I've created calculators that will track exactly what you've what you started with and what you ended with at the end of the week, and then be able to see that and also track your positions. So that's just one example. We have quite a few calculators in there that we're going to have to make available to insiders.
Yeah, and now we have the running stock pick list. This is going to be one-stop shop again to show all the picks, and if anybody wants the ticker symbols so they can actually go purchase them. Now, this is the part that I think is going to be really cool. It's called Hot Seat Saturdays. This is going to happen once a month where we will be picking members, and our members actually get to talk about their portfolios. And for of course, you're not forced to do it. So none of this you have to do. It's by choice. Everything is volunteer inside of the IA ecosystem. But the Hot Seat Saturdays will pick a member, and they'll get to talk about why they chose some of the stocks they chose, what they've been looking at. They get to talk about their portfolio and possibly their watch list. So other members can chime in like, oh, I saw that. Oh, you should watch out for this. Whatever it is, it starts that discussion, but it gets us more comfortable talking about stock and investments and what we're doing and not feel like we're about to be attacked or people will laugh at us if we don't know enough. There are people who they're always judged, right? but normally the people who are judging are going to be the people watching us grow. And I'd rather be uncomfortable for a little bit to grow than just avoid it because it feels awkward. And it's going to be inside of an ecosystem of people who, really are supportive. So now we're talking about live monthly investing masterminds. It's going to be a 1-hour webinar to discuss hot trading strategies, industry news, and more. Again, it's going to be once a month, but we're actually going to have a link where everybody can go on until we get too big, and we might break it into 2 different sections. But we get to literally talk about the market and what's happening as it relates to opportunities. That's key. So peek behind the paywall of some of the industry's biggest platforms. Leon, you want to give them the overview of the peak?
Yeah, so what Brent and I are doing is, I don't know if a lot of you heard of things like CNBC has a paid platform. Investors Business Daily has a paid platform. TheStreet.com has a paid platform. Problem is to pay for all those at one time is, can kind of add up over time. So what Brent and I said is, and Brent and I are subscribers. Well, in our kind of our personal life, we're the subscribers to their paid side or their free side. But what we said is, what would be kind of cool is if we could say, okay, why doesn't IEA go in and subscribe to all of these? And then we'll then present that information to our members so they don't have to then subscribe. So we're subscribing to, I think, 3 or 4 of them right now. I think we'll expand that later. We're subscribing to 3 or 4 of them: IBD, CNBC, The Street, and Motley Fool. I think the 3 are big, 3 or 4. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the content that they're presenting, because they do stock picks. They do have some nice articles on certain industries, on certain sectors, on what's hot, what's not. But again, it's behind a paywall. And to subscribe to all 3 or 4 is a lot of money. So we said, okay, well, IEA will do that subscription for our members, and then we'll then present that information to our members underneath the Insiders platform. So that's what the curatedness of the multiple paid platforms that we're going to have inside of the Insider membership.
And for anybody who's in our Facebook group, recently you saw a post about Polaris doing their earnings report. I don't know how many people, and I would love if you all watching, and I see the numbers going up, so that's awesome. But if you all can put a comment in, how many of you all actually, if you have been part of an earnings report announcement, let us know. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to see too many comments pop up because most people haven't. Now, if you go into the Facebook Investing Education Academy group, the numbers soon might go up because we actually listed Polaris's upcoming earnings report, which, because of COVID and the environment we're in, many of these companies are starting to release them via webinar. And so we're posting things like that. And I found out that information in particular through our behind the paywall at, one of the platforms. But, I wouldn't have known otherwise, and most of us wouldn't have known because we don't have access behind that paywall. Well, all of the insiders in the Portfolio Panthers, you have access behind the paywall. And for those who joined the community, definitely understand that we will be putting information in there too. We will not leave you out. So although you see the information listed above, this is pretty much the minimum that we're going to do. By nature, who Leon and I are, we're going to do more. But this is like our minimum for these divisions of the community. And so a peek behind the paywall, you all understand that now. Monthly summary of IEA stock portfolio. And this is where it gets good. This is where you want to share. And this is what you all have been like, ooh, Leon and I, we're going to open a brokerage account in IEA's name. And what we're going to do is each month, we're going to write up an overview of what we bought, what we sold, and why. And we're going to release it to the Portfolio Panthers and the insiders. Now, we're not saying that you all will buy or track exactly what we do, but one of the pieces that has come back to us time and time again is the fact that people really love the understanding of why we move the way we move as it relates to the market. Leon, again, you all hear say this time and time again, is going to be more technical. I'm going to be more practical on, what I like about the stock or the way the business is positioned. You all will get to read about it now on a monthly basis to kind of say, oh my gosh, even if it leads you to go, I don't like the way either one of them trades, but it helps you get to understand what your style is quicker. Or if you don't have one, it gets you to say, oh, well, I do like the way they trade. I'm going to kind of do a mix between the two, or I'm going to go more towards Leon, or I'm going to go more towards Brent, whatever it may be. The goal is for everybody to get in the market. The goal is for everybody to start leveraging their money.
And with that, so yeah, so another thing we also get, we often get is like, people are saying like, yo, how do you all choose your stocks and why, right? And eventually we're going to have a course on teaching exactly like I said, Brent has a methodology, and so do I. So at some point we're gonna break down both of our methodologies and actually have a course on that. But for now, as Brent said, we're gonna open an account, and every month you're gonna be able to see step by step why we pick. We're gonna ask that question: how do we pick a stock and why, or stocks and why? And then you're gonna see the amount that we invested in it, and it's gonna be full transparency into the IEA brokerage account. So that'll give a really big peek and a really big answer to that question of why do you all pick what you pick, and how did you go about that? And that'll definitely answer that.
Yeah. And the question is, will the weekly stock picks then be purchased via IEA's portfolio? No.
We still doing picks.
Yeah,
Beverly would not let us not stop doing our picks. So we got to do our Facebook picks.
Well, I mean, the question isn't, are we still going to give the picks when we do our lives? I think the question is, are we going to turn around and buy everything that we pick?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. The short answer is no. I mean, you got to think about it. Every month we're doing about 8 to 10 stocks a month. So it would be exhausting to continuously trade at that level.
Right.
So, and also sometimes we trade in spurts, or burst. So we might buy 3 or 4 stocks at one time that we never talked about before on any of IEA's platforms. Leon and I talk daily about stocks that we haven't even begun to mention. So there may be some, to answer the question, Malcolm, that we will, I'm sure, talk about and you'll see us buy. But there would definitely be some, those of you all who see what we're buying and selling are going to be like, oh, they've never talked about that before.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's the reason why it is, a higher level membership, because you're going to see more of what we're doing and what we're not doing. And there's going to be a tribe for Stock Watch Group, and that's going to be an insider portfolio only group. And that's where, Malcolm, there are also some of those stocks you hear me talk about that have discussed. We're going to put those in there. And I know recently I found like this old book, and this book is ancient, but I had started tracking stocks in it a long time ago. And I starred them. I starred next to each stock, and I did it quick so nobody tries to write it down. So we have those books laying around everywhere. Leon does so much research. I don't even think he understands where everything's probably located. So we're going to actually create a watch group, and we're going to put the things that we're watching in there as well. So that is for the insiders. Now let's talk about the Portfolio Panthers. People like $5,000. Why would I do that? Because you can make more. And you should only do it if it's risk capital that you're investing or discretionary funds. If this is going to be a stretch for you and it's going to hurt your family or cause you, to not rest tonight, you shouldn't do it. And it's not for everybody. So there's plenty of information that's going to be in the community. There's plenty of information that's going to be in the insider membership level. The Portfolio Panthers, we just know that there's some that want more. Like we said, we have all levels of investors. And so this doesn't mean, Portfolio Panther doesn't mean that you all of a sudden are, a savvy investor, or you've been in the market so long you're considered what's called a qualified investor. But it is for the person who's really serious about learning about the market. It's for the person who has an open mind about investing in things that may not be stock, because we're going to talk about some things that real estate we'll be talking about, venture capital. We're going to do a lot inside the Portfolio Panther platform.
Private equity also.
Yeah, private equity deals. And so you go, well, what's in it? Let's talk about that. Number one, we are at 5 Portfolio Panthers already, and we're shutting it down at 15. So if you are considering being a Portfolio Panther, I would suggest you get in contact with Leon or I, if you want to know more about it, because we could see that happening pretty quick. This is the 5 that we have has happened in the last 2 days. So that's pretty awesome. All right. Now, right now, you get everything that's inside the IEA insider platform. Now you're going to get the articles, the curated links, the calculators, the worksheets. Now you're going to get the stock tracking sheets, a risk and trade size assessment form. Now, I'm not even going to act like I can explain what that is to you all, so I'm going to let Leon tell you about the risk and trade size assessment form.
Yeah, so another big question we often get from people is, and one thing I've learned, I'll say that, one thing I've learned in questions that we do get is people often get in trouble when they're putting on investments in the stock market because they don't know how much they should be risking on this particular investment, right? So, say you have 5 stocks, 10 stocks, whatever. The question then becomes, okay, how much should I risk per investment? Should it be, more on this one? Should it be less on this one? Should they all be split even? And that comes, so what that's called is risk management, right? And that's what that form is going to be about. So it's going to help assess, it's going to take into account the share price, the amount of money you have, and also the dividend. And then what it's going to do is it's actually going to calculate everything for you and then tell you, okay, these are how many shares you should buy based on the criteria that you set up, the amount of money you put in and how much you want to risk. So it's going to be an automated way to kind of do risk management for you, which I think is, to me, this is the most important thing. And not because, and really because everyone always worries about their profit. No one ever really thinks about the risk, right? Everyone thinks, well, I have 1,000 shares, I'm a big baller now, I can make all this money. But they don't really seem to realize that stock moves, $5 in one day with 1,000 shares. That's a whole lot of money you could lose if it goes against you. So people really get caught up in this whole, I own a lot of shares, but they need to realize, 1, assess how much money you have, 2, how much you're willing to risk, and 3, also that dividend plays a part into it too, as far as return and the risk mitigation, how that's going to affect the trade. So it's going to be a way to assess your risk and then size the trade for you before you get in.
Yeah, and so another piece too that is not up here. Somebody asked me about it today when we were talking about the membership levels and the courses. As we release courses, some of the courses are, as you saw, paid courses. If you are a member, if you're a community member, you're going to receive somewhere 10 or more % on any of our courses. If you're an insider, your discount is going to be somewhere between 20 and more. If you're a Portfolio Panther, some of the courses will be probably at like a 70 to 80% discount if you want to take it. Now, for the community members, the insiders, and the Portfolio Panthers, we also will have free courses just because you're a member. So, it's not just like, oh, we're giving everything to the top tiers. There's a lot of information for everybody who just becomes a member in general. We actually have people who've already asked if they could buy membership for like nephews and brothers and sisters as gifts for the holiday. I was like, for birthdays. I thought that was awesome because those are people that know me and Leon personally and knew we were working on this, and they've started asking if they can give membership as a gift. So that was super cool. And now we're talking about the Portfolio Panthers. What else is included? Exclusive investment opportunities. What is an exclusive investment opportunity? One of the Panthers is an estate planning attorney. And today we had the conversation where they told me yesterday, we had the conversation where they told me they do want to become a Portfolio Panther. And in the conversation, which was awesome, and what we were thinking is going to happen more frequently. And again, if you want to share this is a great story to show what can happen when you're around people who just, they have that mindset to give, but also the acumen to be investors and, to buy and sell things to make money. This individual has property in Pittsburgh, and they were saying that it was a gift from an aunt. And they were like, Brent, is it cool if I become a Portfolio Panther that I offer the property to anybody who's a Panther who wants to buy it from me? I don't do anything with it. And I'm like, yeah, that's, of course. And, that's one of those things that it's literally, and as the group hasn't even formally come together, but people are now starting to take the opportunities they have, and they're going to be announcing them to members of the group because there's an opportunity there. And now hopefully if nobody in the Portfolio Panthers wants to buy the property, we can announce it to all the members. And then if nobody in the membership wants to buy it, which I doubt, but if it happened, then we can go to the Facebook group and say, look, basically we're going to pass it through the family before we maybe send an email just to the community as a whole, like there's this property for sale. Now, another exclusive investment opportunity is one of the Portfolio Panthers does a conference, and they were like, hey, do you think anybody would want to basically help underwrite the conference, so we can split that money from their conference, and they get to do the conference they wanted to do. These are deals that are happening organically. Leon and I have not given any guidance into how people should be doing deals inside the platform, but as these things occur, I mean, you can do pretty well during the conference. And the property, I know how much it appreciated, but I also know that the property is going to be under like $40,000-$50,000. And so that's a really great buying opportunity, is actually raw land. And so, but it's in a really good area. So anyway, these things as they come up will circulate. And for those who pay, that's what you're paying for. Because really you can make your money back in that one deal. So full view of IEA stock portfolio. This is good stuff. We're going to be doing screenshots of our actual portfolio, and where in the insiders, you all will get the write-up of what we're doing in form of like a monthly newsletter, but the portfolio Panthers will actually see our account. So we're going to do screenshots. Do we say it weekly, Leon, or?
I don't know. Maybe we can talk about that, but it's, weekly, maybe bi-weekly or monthly.
Bi-weekly.
I think weekly is too much. That's give it, give it time.
They're going to get a screenshot of our actual portfolio. In addition to, they'll get the write-up of what we've done and haven't done. So they'll see the changes like close to real time. So now you have live private discussions on once a quarter with CEOs of various startups to see what the growth plans are. Leon and I have talked about private equity pretty extensively throughout our lives. Leon, do you want to tell me about the private equity side?
Yeah, so some of y'all may know that Brent and I mentioned that we invested, Brent and I invested in a company called Popcom. And it's a company that basically raised money in the private sector. They're not public. They're a small company founded by an African-American woman. She raised, in the last 2 years, she's raised over $2 million in the private.
I think it's over 3 now.
Oh, okay, it's over 3 now. Okay. And so it's almost similar to stocks. Like, okay, so they're out there. There are a bunch of sites that list a whole bunch of private equity deals that are public that anyone can get into, right? But it's almost like stocks, where you can go research a stock. You can research any stock you want on the internet, but one, do you have time? And two, do you know what you're looking for? So what Brent and I are doing, we're gonna kind of like we're doing with the whole thing behind the paywall, as far as like CNBC and the street.com. We're actually gonna go into a lot of these sites and actually do research for the Panthers, and then present, I don't know, maybe two to five potential investments either per month or every 2 months that we found
once a quarter.
Oh, sorry, once a quarter. Okay, every 3 months, once a quarter. Then we're going to present to the Panthers and say, okay, here, we did the research. Here are the markets. Here's the size. Here's the revenue. Here's the growth. Yada yada yada. And then from there, the Panther can go then either make the investment or not. But again, it's a way we're presenting alternative investments, not just real estate, not just stocks, also private equity deals. It's something that we're looking into as well. So that's going to be provided for the Panthers, as Brent said, once a quarter. We'll probably be anywhere from 3 to 5 different companies we're going to research.
Yeah, and for many of you who are like, well, I still don't get it. It's kind of like Shark Tank, but we're going out to find the deals. And instead of it just being people coming in and maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, we will have a reasonable thought that this company has some legs, and that any one investment into a company at this level can change a person's life. It could change your kid's life. It could be big or it can hurt you. So, again, you want to understand that when you get to this level of investing, we're going to be educating each other, because some of this stuff is even new to Leon and I. And we are very open with that. Like, I don't know about real estate in Pittsburgh. I have no clue what the market looks like. But one of the Panthers said they know when they have a deal. And like anything else, do your research. But when you're part of a framework or a group who's trying to grow, they're trying to increase their revenue, this is where deals get made. Because we're talking about a group that it doesn't even exist yet. And they're already talking about 2 potentially profitable deals. And with Leon and I, like, you take Popcom or whatever company it is we pitch to, one of the goals that we're going to have, and if any of you all know us, we go after things pretty ferociously. We want to get the CEOs of these companies to come in or do a Zoom call, however it's going to work out, with the Panthers to tell them about their company, why why they went to business, what their profit margins look like, what their financials are showing, and what the projections are for the future. Mm-hmm. Again, I see you all popping up in the comments, and my question is, how many of you all have talked to a CEO of a startup and who was offering private equity deals before they ever hit the market? And if you have, please say me. It probably won't be that many people. So these are things where we're trying to change how we think about investments. We're changing how we receive information about different investments, and we're going to grow, and we're going to get better. And after we have a name, once we get a name, we're going to actually have leverage to say you need to come in to talk to the Panthers because of this. And one of the things too, let's not just talk Panthers. If it's a situation where we can do a podcast with this individual, that's information for everybody. If we can say, you know what, we just want to do IEA members only sit down with you and just do some Q&A because many people have never talked to you. Like, we want the community members to do this as well, but it's one of the things we're going to do in the Panther platform. But we will at some point in time just have those moments where it's like, no, everybody should know about this. Or if we do the meeting with the CEO, we're going to do a recap for everybody. Mm. And it's going to be inside the framework, like, hey, this is what we talked about. These are some things that came about. You all should know. And we may roll it out. So it may sit down, actually have the meeting with the Panthers, then give a summary to the insiders, and then post the information for all the community to read. Mm-hmm. So that's going to take us to this is a good one. Portfolio roundtable. So the question would be, what is the difference between the portfolio roundtable discussion in the Panther group and the monthly mastermind in the insiders group? The portfolio roundtable is going to be a slow go where we're actually going to lay out our portfolios, and it's going to happen on a monthly basis as much as the Panthers want to look at it, where we may talk about 401ks, we may talk about our stock portfolios, we may talk about mutual funds in general, but things that we've been watching. But this is just going to be a slower, deeper dive into our portfolios, why we chose it, and it's only going to be Panthers. So it's going to be a smaller group because by default, we're not going to have more than 15 Panthers. So we'll be able to go deeper and talk longer about each other's portfolios. So that is what that is. And again, we're about to give you all the new price for everybody who's sticking it out with us right now. And they're showing that they're an early believer. It's coming up in just a moment. All right. Now, at least 2 additional stock picks from Noble.io software. Now, I don't know if I should gloss over this, Leon, or if you... Did you know that was on there?
No, I'll say it. So, okay. All right. So what Noble.io is, and there's a whole history behind why it's called Noble.io, but I'm not gonna get into that. But essentially, so aside from IEA, outside of IEA, the last 6-8 months, I'm actually working on a software platform that's going to all the stuff that we're talking about now, and the way Brent, well, at least the way I pick and choose stocks, and the way I do research, a lot of the analysis I do, a lot of the technical stuff, a lot of the statistics I do. Right now, it's all me doing it like via Google Sheets, spreadsheets. Like it's tedious as hell. So working with a friend of ours, Brent and I's, Dave Curry, so I've been working with him directly. We're actually coding up a system that's going to automate everything. So from news to technical research on fundamentals, balance sheet stuff, income statement stuff, all the stuff you're supposed to look for in a when you do stock research is going to be presented to you automatically. You have to do nothing. It's going to be a push of a button. So I'm working on that in the background, as well as Brent and I working at IEA. So when it says Noble.io platform, that's what that is. And once that's done, and so right now we're going into our first phase of testing. I actually don't realistically think that's going to be ready even to roll out to IEA members for at least another 6 to 8 months. So we're talking beginning of next year, maybe mid next year. But when it's ready, the first beta testers are going to be IEA Panther members. And there's going to be a training course assigned with that as well. But then you're going to see how this thing is. I can say right now, like I built this for me. I would say I built this for me individually. Like, because again, all the research I do, I just needed a quicker way to do this. But then Brent and other people will let me know, like, yo, other people may want to see this. So it's going to be rolled out. So anyway, it's going to be rolled out to Panther members initially for the beta testing. And then eventually it's going to be rolled out to the whole IEA community. So so that's what that is. That's what the Noble IO platform is.
And so for you all, you have no idea. We were like in the office, it's like, are you crazy? You know how much money you can make off of this? That's how the conversation really went. But in that space, again, Leon and I have been doing this since 1992, our junior year in high school. And we've had so many ups, so many downs, and we bought like Investor Business Daily way back when. What was the name of that book? You remember that book we bought? It was like an encyclopedia of stocks.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, but it was
it was an actual 3-ring binder that you were like, they would send you new sheets of paper where you would put it in the 3-ring binder to read an analysis of stocks when we were in like, I think sophomore year in college. We spent the money to buy this. And it was awful.
Terrible.
Yeah. But
and so real quick, so that's the point, Brent. So just kind of going quick back to the Noble IO software. So like Brent said, and I was actually talking to Malcolm, who's I think is on here now, the other day about this, saying how like when we research stocks, Brent, me, people on the live, on the podcast, whatever. When we research stocks, because we're human, we can only research a few stocks at a time, right? The problem is if you're researching 5 stocks, right, you only know about those 5 stocks. You don't know what else is out there. So there's so many times I've bought stocks and I've looked in the paper or online or something later and said, well, damn, I didn't know about, those other 3 stocks in the same industry, in the same sector. I wish I had known about that. And those stocks are up like 60, 70%, where my stocks are up like 10%. The problem is, again, I didn't know what I didn't know because I'm only one person. I can only research so many stocks. Well, the system I'm building is going to do all that for us. I mean, there are about 5,000 tradable stocks in the universe of stocks. This is going to sift through all 5,000 and distill it down to the top. It basically is going to rank all, but it's going to distill it down to the top 10 or 20 by sector and then serve those up to the users of it. So it's going to be really, really powerful. And I can't, like I said, I'm building it for me. I was building it for me, but now I'm building it for basically everybody. But I can't wait to this thing is finished.
Yeah, and again, we want to say shout out to David Curry. He's a data scientist, but he's also friends of ours. We've been friends since junior high school. And this goes back to the people who Leon and I are. We realized that most of the people in our network, we've known 10 years or more. Many over like 20. And we still have a really good rapport with them. And so we're not the type to kind of be flighty. I mean, we're see it through people. And so that's the reason we want to bring this information to you all, because we want you all to also get the benefits of and avoid the mistakes by doing the things that we've already done and we know work. So that's where the education comes in, and that's where we think the power is going to be. So I believe as far as the Panther platform, that's most of everything you all will want to know about the Portfolio Panthers. Now, in that space, this is the drum roll. You want to know the prices, right? And so for anybody who is watching this, I would love to know what you think the price is going to be. I see that on commercials all the time. They're like, tell us what the price you think is going to be. Right now, as it stands, the regular pricing is $35.99, $36 for annual membership just to join the IEA community as a whole. If you want to become an IEA insider, it's $500 a year. So that's annually. So that's roughly $46 a month if you want to pay monthly. So let me actually make a note for myself. It is $46 a month. And for the Portfolio Panthers, it's $5,018 for the year. If you wanted to pay monthly, it's $450. So there's a reason I'm writing this down. Hello, Barbara. You just popped up. Nice to see you. Let me do this for a moment. Now, as I go into the membership, I pull up the prices on membership. Is there anything you want to say to anybody about the platform or the community that I might have missed?
No, just so one thing I did want to say is that so the free Facebook group is not going to change, right? Like the way the free Facebook group is right now, it's going to stay the same. We'll still be engaged. We'll still do what we do in there. If you want to refer people there, great. If you want to refer people to the membership platform, great. Like Bert said, like our goal isn't to like shield this information behind a paywall, right? The goal is to get it out there to as many people as possible, because as we said, as Brent said earlier, the pay gap, at least for African Americans, we're just now catching up to where white America is 1962, right? So it's utterly ridiculous. So the Facebook group is going to stay exactly where it is. Nothing's going to change. The low end plan, $36 for the year. I mean, that's people pay more than that, at the bar on the weekends. And then the $5.99, 47 some dollars a month. Again, you pay more than that, at the bar or the club. The Panthers is, it's kind of a higher level, and if people can afford it, great. If not, we have the other two, and then still have the free Facebook group. So I just want to make the point that the free Facebook group is not going to change. It's going to stay the same. Information is not going to move off of that into the membership, but we are going to do a deeper dive into a lot of those topics inside the membership.
All right, now here we are, the prices, right? For the IA community members, it is still $36 for the year. We think that is an extremely generous pricing for the information we're going to be giving. So there's no discount in that space. But for early believers, there's a 20% discount for joining the IA Insider community. So it'll be $37 a month, or if you wanted to pay it up front, you're talking about, what did we say the price was, Leon?
I can do the math.
Yeah, three something. So if you wanted to pay, actually, you know what? Let's do this. There you go, $3.99. So if you wanted to pay it, that's a 10% savings, and you can go directly through the site and pay it. If you want to know more about what's included in this platform or some of the members, this is actually how you'll be able to see different members in the platform, and you can click on them and contact them and stay engaged. And we have people now contacting us from South Africa, the West Coast, Canada. As you travel, or if you wanted to say, I wonder who's in this area, you can actually see the members in local areas if they have that turned on inside the platform, which is really a cool feature if you want to grab coffee. So benefits. All the benefits are listed in case you get here and you're like, what are the benefits again? I don't remember. Here they are. The discount is gonna last until Friday. So I'm saying this again, until Friday. And I just saw Lynette said we are currently being projected on her big screen. So that's awesome. Thank you, Lynette. I appreciate it. And it's cool. Yo, people have told us they listen to us in a box in the shower, on their big screens, on their phone while eating cereal, in the car, they just put their phone on. And now you have the podcast. The podcast is here. You can now just go to the podcast and turn us on your phone, put in your earphones. You don't have to worry about seeing us. And that's also why we changed the framework of how we talk on our lives to include information that people on the podcast can follow along with as well. But I just think that's real cool how you all are listening to us. And another piece for you all who are interested in checking out the podcast. Some people don't know like our actual backstory about Leon and I. So there's some of our backstory here that gives you an understanding of where we got started. And if you wanted to know kind of when we met, I didn't give him the whole story of how we met, Leon, but I told him that, when the age we were and some other information. So this is a quick story about like the age and, when we got started in the market. And this is us in 1996. And, this is just fun for me right now. In 1996, we went up to New York, and like, it was a group of friends that went up to New York for this trip. Leon and I had to leave because we just wanted to go to Wall Street so we could take a picture.
Right.
Like, no one understood why we would want to walk to Wall Street to just take a picture, but we've always been in that mindset, like it's a part of who we are. And I mean, this picture is it goes back to that. I still had hair. So it's.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so in this picture is because Leon hasn't given me a good picture yet. So we're working on it.
Not me, by the way. That's not me.
Yeah, it's not. So Attorney Henderson just said power is knowledge. And coming from an estate planning attorney, thank you so much, because you will be one of our experts presenting. So anybody who wants to know about estate planning, just know Attorney Henderson will be one of the people presenting to us inside of the IA platform about estate planning, what it means, how it gets done. but that was a quick commercial for her. Right now, the plan is $399 if you want to pay for the year. When this is done, again, we're talking about going up $100. Don't forget, anybody who's watching this, once the price you come in at is the price it stays at. So even if we go up in price, which we will, but even with this being at this level for right now, you will always be at that paid level. It will not go up. This will be locked in. Now, this is for the insiders. For the Portfolio Panthers, more details. Right now, we weren't able to put the price in. It's actually $5,018 a year, and that came out to 400 and let me take a look. It is $450 a month, $449.99 per month. If you register between now and Friday, it will be $399, and again per month, or $4,500. That will be locked in for the entire time you are a Portfolio Panther. The first, it says it right here. After we get to 15 people, we will be shutting down the Portfolio Panthers to any new members. And when we open it back up, it will be $10,000 a person. And it's because of the Noble IO. It's because of the fact that we'll be bringing private equity deals. It's the fact that we will be doing deep dives into portfolios. And it's everybody inside of the Portfolio Panther platform is going to have roughly a 75 to 80, 90, sometimes free, but 75 to 90% discount on all of our courses. So yes, it costs more because you're probably going to do pretty well in that framework. Again, for those who have joined, we're at 5 people already, and we're only going to 15. So there's 10 slots left. If you want to lock it in, or if you want to wait to see what it's like later, you might be walking into a $10,000 price tag, which would be the equivalent to 2 years of membership if you were to pay now. Actually, it'll still be less if you did 2 years of membership. So if you have, again, if you wanted to pay for this annually, it's $4,500. You would just contact anybody who's going to do that at this point, probably knows Leon or I. And so we would just say, contact us and we will get you the information you need to make the payment and join the Portfolio Panthers. So with that being said, you guys have pretty much seen it all. So we would say, you know, IEA demystifies the stock market investments so IEA members can profit. That's very true, especially now. So if there are any questions, you know, feel free. I've seen a lot. Malcolm said you look so different in that picture. Bakari's just laughing. They're talking to you, Lou.
Yeah.
Personally, I look the same. So, it was only in 1996. It wasn't that long ago. But you know, in the space, this is it, everybody. This is IEA, and from here on, it's just upward trajectory. Leon and I, again, we're going to be pouring everything we have into the IEA membership and platform. You have pretty much, you've gotten all the information on, you know, how to get in contact with us, where we are. This is the website. This will be the IEA membership platform, the podcast, the Facebook group, our YouTube channel, Instagram. There are multiple ways to take us with you. There's also multiple ways for you to get information. And like Leon alluded to, and I hope I didn't go too far into the membership with you losing the understanding that the Facebook group is still part of our community. Mm-hmm. So we're still going to be pouring into the Facebook group, and there will not be neglect in that space. So for many of you all who maybe, you know, you're not ready, or, you know, $36 is a lot, you know, again, it's a judge-free zone, and you want to, or you just feel comfortable inside the Facebook group, that's fine. And you can still ask questions as much as we can. We will answer them. But when, as you all now matriculate into the IEA community, like the membership platform, that's where we're going all in. And if you know, I'm not showing everybody the inside of it on purpose. You know, as people pay, they want to have exclusivity. So you want to see what's on the inside of the membership platform because you pay for it. And so there already are tribes set up. There's already articles, there are videos, there are links to our podcast, or links to all of our YouTubes. It's a lot of information already in there, and it's just going to grow. But that's going to be the place where if you have a question about a particular stock and you want to like kind of get others' opinion, we want you all to come and share. We don't want anybody talking down to anybody. We don't want anybody being disrespectful. It may be like one curse word because it was just a oh wow moment. But if somebody's in there going crazy, no pictures with your middle finger up. I don't even understand why adults do that.
Right.
But
why is that even a thing?
Yeah, that is disturbing to me that an adult will take a picture on purpose and post it to social media.
Mhm.
But again, judge-free zone. Right. But if you do it in the IAA membership, you will be gone. So it's been a lot of work, everybody. It's been a lot of work. And getting on Stitcher and Bleaker and Spotify and all these other platforms is kind of a testament to you all. If it weren't for you all supporting what Leon and I have been doing, we wouldn't be at this level. But also now Leon and I have a responsibility to pour back as much as you all have poured into us over the last 10 weeks. And if we've grown this much in 10 weeks, it's gonna be pretty dope when we get into the platform and we actually have our private conversations, because there we can say whatever we want within respectful reason. And it's gonna be cool to watch us grow, because I can already see some friendships happening between people who probably would have never spoken before. And Leon and I are getting comments and people joining from both sides of the aisle. We're as conservatives, right wing and left wing. It's been pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not knowledge, money knowledge, or money matters, or however you want to say it. It's kind of a comparison, but people always say, the virus knows no color, knows no race, knows no political party. Same thing with investing. I mean, everyone needs to make money. Everyone needs to know how to make money. And so, as Brent said, judge-free zone. I mean, there's no biases in this group. We're all about spreading this knowledge, and we're upfront about the point that that wealth gap really struck both of us for the African American community. So that's really one of our big points, is that we've got to shrink that gap, and more importantly, shrink the ROI gap, which is again 139% that white America makes on their money over Black America. So that's another kind of big point we want to make too, and actually bring that down as well.
Yeah, and don't think that just because whatever your profession or where you might be in your investing life, that everybody else has it together. They don't, and some do. And the thing is, we want to talk to the people that do, and we want to help the people that don't. Mm-hmm. And we had one person, a very high-ranking individual in our community, call us like, "Oh my gosh, I moved my money out my savings account, and I've made a significant amount of money in a very short period of time because I've been tracking you guys' stock picks." And the reality is, they're not making money just because they bought the stocks that we picked. They made money because they moved into the market. Mm-hmm. They actually decided to move into the market because of us. And that's who we are. People have asked us, are we going to start getting suited up? And the most I think we're going to do is probably this, like a collar.
You remember when we first started, I was wearing like t-shirts.
Oh, you should have. Oh yeah, it was a couple starts. I was like, Leon, you about to wear that?
Yeah, Bernie stepping up to at least a collar. It's about as far as I'm gonna go.
Yeah, but even you'll see us in t-shirts, and especially as we start getting merch. So it's it's gonna be fun. I really hope you all take advantage of the discounts, and I'll put it back up again. It's until Friday night, midnight. If you go to IA's portfolio, IAA members URL, you'll see the prices. You'll see these prices until Friday. We weren't able to, list the deadline because it's a character limit, so we just couldn't put so much information. But once you go in, it'll give you the details. It'll actually give you the savings over doing it monthly. It tells you the savings it is compared to what it's going to be when the price goes back up. This is a 20% discount, and 20% is definitely generous. And then the benefits. If you guys have questions, please let us know inside the Facebook group, Investing Education Academy. And we thank you all. The numbers have been pretty solid the whole time, and the comments have been very supportive. So just to say thank you is what we can do. And now let's start making some money. Let's really learn about the market and go a couple levels deeper than what we've been doing so far. Lee, anything before we go?
No, that was it. I mean, like Brent said, it's been a lot of work. We've put a lot of work in the last 3 months. I mean, we started April 1st with absolutely nothing. We just had an idea like, let's just go live and start talking about, let's because we had this IEA idea like 2 years ago. We never really followed up on it.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's just get on it now. So we put in a lot of work the last 2.5, 3 months to get to this point. And we're at a place now where we're ready to really move forward.
Yeah, and for you all who are still, with this, we have to give you our stock picks, right? So
yeah, right. Yeah. Beverly, picks are coming. Yeah.
So, and before we bring up the picks, I just wanted to say, to echo what Leon's saying, but like statistically, we went from 0. 10 weeks is not a long. We're talking about we started a company, got incorporated, have our bank account set up, have our pass-through account set up, have a membership platform, a podcast that's now syndicated on at least 6 different platforms, a membership community, 3 membership levels, 269 members registered on the Facebook Investing Education Academy Facebook group. And we've probably been started writing for at least one online magazine in 10 weeks. Yeah. So if this has been accomplished in 10 weeks, please become a member, because I can't imagine what the stats are going to look like in a year. And we're not even telling you the money people have called to tell us they've profited. And, it's not important, because it's really not about just a single dollar. It's about the mindset shift. Mm-hmm. And we have to get a mindset shift to say, you know what, our dollars are our employees. Every single person who gets a 1099, a W-2, an allowance, money from a milk stand, a lemonade stand, whatever it is, you are an employer. Your dollars, every dollar, your checks, those are your employees. And if we can move and switch our minds to understanding, regardless of we're W-2 or not, we're all employers. What are you going to do as an employer? How are you going to run your business? And your business is your money. Put it in the bank account, you're losing. You are instantly losing. You're not even keeping pace with inflation.
Not even close.
It's just a slow death, and it feels good because you can touch it.
Right.
I don't want to touch a corpse.
Right. And the crazy thing is, it's really insidious, because you look at your account on January 1, see $10,000. You look at your account on December 31st, and you see $10,000, and you feel like, oh, I didn't lose any money. I still have my money. No, as we always said, you lost buying power. You didn't lose actual dollars, but to buy that milk and eggs, instead of costing you $5 at the end of the year, now it's going to cost you $7. And a year from now, it's going to cost you $10. Yep. And that $10,000 that you have is now losing money every month. So, actually every day. So, yeah. So just like Brent said, the mindset. We got to get the mindset of moving our money out of low ROI investments into high ROI investments.
We're going to change this for everybody. And we're going to be doing portions teaching parents on what to do with their kids, because that's really important. It's so important. So, all right, let me pull up my pick. My pick today is not even a drum roll for this one, because we've been talking about it forever. Carnival Corporation. I didn't realize that we had never picked it. So
I picked Norwegian.
We never picked Carnival though.
Not Carnival. Yeah.
So I'm choosing Carnival because it's still deeply depressed, and on top of that, they know we're part of a government bailout group, and on top of that, Carnival just have received an extension that they cannot sell their ships, which is going to hurt them financially, and they are going to have to announce a lower than expected loss on their earnings. So they already knew that they weren't going to hit the earnings, but now they're going to be impacted doubly, because the extension on them not being able to launch ships is going to cause a lot of people to run for the hills. And as it's been said in the market at times, when you see people running away, sometimes that's when you should run toward. And for me, I am running toward. Carnival is such a large cruise ship that it is not going to go under, because it has economies of scale. They employ too many people, they have too many vessels, and essentially it accounts for a huge population of vacation spending on various islands. And you gotta think about this. With Carnival, Norwegian, other cruise liners, and planes in general, they contribute to a global economy, because they bring consumers to other places where consumers otherwise wouldn't reach. the governments aren't going to let those places fail. So because they just got hit on the wrist again, and the average person is going to run away, I'm running back towards them. So I am choosing Carnival, and it's going to be a rough ride for them. Please be aware of that. Don't expect it to all of a sudden just explode. It may be some more loss to come, but again, we're talking like 5 years out. We're going to win.
Yep. All right, and my pick is Arista Networks. Ticker symbol is ANET. Today they closed at $209.44, and they were down 0.28%, so a little under 0.5%. So Arista Networks is similar to Cisco Systems. They're in the technology sector, and they're a pretty big networking company. They service, they're part of the whole 5G thing. They supply, companies like Verizon, AT&T, as far also like our internet providers, Comcast, Cox, things like that. So they're like the plumbings into all the networks that we use, from cellular to cable and internet. So their profits for the last 2.5 years have been growing at 23% on average, and their sales have been growing on average the last 2.5 years at 15%. So very solid earnings, very solid profits, very solid sales. One thing I didn't like, which we all know I love, is they do not pay a dividend. But again, not every stock pays a dividend. Not every stock you're going to buy has a dividend. But they have huge growth potential. They're in the technology sector, which is a sector that's leading the market higher for the past 10 years. So Arista Networks is my pick.
All right, and so with Arista Networks, the ticker symbol is ANET. Again, it's A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, E as in Eddie, T as in Tom. A couple people have made statements, and we're listening to you all, that we need to be clear when we say the ticker symbols of the stocks. So my pick was Carnival Cruise Line. Ticker symbol is CCL. C is in cat, C is in cat, L is in Larry is my pick. I don't think you're going to see it run. And I'm telling everybody, we're in for a bumpy ride going into an election year. It's already bumpy by default in an election year, but we're looking at just unprecedented times. Mm-hmm. So for many of you all who are coming into the IE platform or new to the market, people lie to us all the time, like, oh, the market's going to crash again, or the market's going to blow through the roof. And right. We get false beliefs about what's going to happen in the marketplace. So we just want to be just casually upfront with you all, saying, expect a bumpy ride. There's a great buying opportunity. And come 2 years from now, those who were willing to go in and actually put their money on the table are going to experience what we believe will experience some euphoria, because they're going to be in a good place. If you're waiting, go ahead.
History is a guide. We showed before that over time the market goes up, right? So they're always bumpy rides, they're always downturns, but eventually, again, the way I look at it is, if you believe the U.S. economy is going to fail, stagnant, either fail or stagnant for the next 50 years, then the stock market's not for you. If you feel that the U.S. economy is going to slowly grow every year on year for the next 50 years, the stock market's for you. Again, since like the last 150 years, the stock market on average returns 10% per year. There's as far as I know, there's nothing. I mean, some people say real estate, but the numbers I've looked at don't say this, that on average you get 10% a year out of real estate. It's a bumpy ride more real estate. The market on average will give you 10% per year. And it's been like that for the past 150, 200 years. So to not be in something like that, to me, is it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So our picks for today, again, is Arista Networks, ANET, for that person who said we don't say it enough. That's Leon's pick. My pick is Carnival Cruise Line, ticker symbol CCL. And somebody asked me why they're called ticker symbols. We're going to talk about that later on, but we're going to do some research.
Right.
All right, everybody. Thank you again. I'll pull up the slide one last time so we end on this note. Is the early believers discount is going to go until Friday. We're going to post some links inside of the Investing Education Academy platform. You'll see some links on my page. We already have 5 portfolio Panthers. At 15, we're shutting it down for an extended period of time to just work out the kinks and make sure we're providing a good product. And so the cost of that is $4,500 per year. If you wanted to go and do the IEA Insiders plan, for right now, it's going to be $399. Come Friday, at the end of Friday, it's going to be $499. Again, if you're going to take this journey with us, because it's going to be a journey, realize whatever price you get in at. So if you can get in between now and Friday, you're locked in for the life of the time you're with us. If you wait and you're trying to figure it out, you're gonna end up paying more. And then, Leon and I talk about finance all the time. Make a financially, educated decision. So with that being said, thank you so much. The numbers are still high. You guys are still sharing. Please, at the replay, share with friends. As long as it's before Friday, everybody can take advantage of the discounted prices. After Friday, it's a different situation. So thank you for being with us, and we will see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m.